And good morning. I'm Venerable Dr. Bhante Chandima. So we welcome you again to Ovada, encouragements from Dhamma teachers. This morning, I thought I will not be reading the scripted introduction of Bhante, and I would like to maybe share a few things based on our experience in interaction with Bhante Chandima. So we thought that he was very generous, thinking that we were small and we're just starting out as well. But he was very generous to offer his wisdom and his guidance, and so we are very grateful that he has done that for this year. At the same time, he was also coming back for a few more times after. And then I think this is already the 6th time that he is with us. And so this year has been filled with a lot of guidance and a lot of things and reflections that we need to do as practitioners. And it wouldn't have been, as smooth as it would have been if we were not guided by Bhante Chandima. So I think we are very happy that to end this year, for one more time, we would be able to hear him talk about Upekkhā, or equanimity. I guess it's a perfect ending for all the retreats that he has given us. And so how do we really maintain that equanimous, that balanced and steady mind amidst everything that we are going through? And so we are very happy today. And later this lunchtime, after the talk, we would be glad to invite everyone to join us for a simple send-off for Bhante Chandima as well. And thank you again for coming and joining us. And so I would like to again welcome Dr. Venerable Chandima. Thank you so much, Bhante.
Hello, Bhante. Thank you for the Dharma talk. Regarding Upekkhā, I'm just wondering, how can we apply Upekkhā in, for example, maybe some of the social issues? For example, corruption. How can we apply Upekkhā towards that? In maybe if you, Bhante, can address in like different levels, the government levels, and then also maybe the personal level. Because I was thinking corruption, sometimes we can blame the government, there's corruption, but sometimes I also hear people when they encounter they doing matters with the government, and then they would also, because it's a very tedious some things to do things, so people they will give money so they can get their things done. So in the way the individuals are supporting corruption. So how is this Upekkhā? What's the view of it to handle?
All right. Now, we also have to understand the larger, broader context of corruption narrative. Corruption narrative is one of the best narratives to get the vote on other side. In many countries, when they are doing their political agenda in the election, most political parties, what they are doing is they are highlighting the corruption of the incumbent government, right? So people get very mad about, okay, you taking our money, right? I think about a local family example. When you know someone is taking your money, how would you respond to that person? Very angry about, yeah? How come you taking my money? It's an easy way to politicize and then to get votes. Now, on the other hand, we understand in daily life, politicians give money to get the votes. At the same time, we have to keep in mind corruption idea that government is corrupted, so we have to chase them out, could be an easy way to lose people, make them very emotional about what's happening, and then to get the vote. This is happening. But corruption is a widespread issue everywhere in the world, not even the Philippines. So we have to understand that by degree. The thing is that when there is a system that is in place for some time, then people find out ways to bypass the system. Even the drug trafficking people. When one channel is closed down, they find another way to go, send the drugs, right? Think about a long time ago, there was a monkey that was jumping from US border to Canada. He was caught. They saw 2-3 times he was embracing something and jumping into other trees. Then the drug traffickers, they train a monkey to send drugs to the other country. Think about it. They find their ways.
Yeah.
So the thing is that corruption is also an evolving activity. It's not the corruption we see in 70s, 60s, 50s, the corruption that we are having now. So we have to understand that first. Second thing is that, as you said, on one side people are protesting against the corruption. On the other side, as you said, people are supporting the corruption in the system. Then what I think is, as I said earlier, number one thing is that we have to educate people about the corruption in the proper way. Because any of these politicians would have not been there if they were not elected by you. You are the ones who send them to the parliament, Congress and the places. So I think number one is, now we have to look at it in two ways. One way is that now corruption is happening, how to look at it. Yes, Upekkhā is necessary. Second thing, Buddhism does not only say, give a certain indifferent idea about what's happening. Buddhism always asks people to come up with an action plan. Action plan is teaching everybody how things can be corrupted, right? Now think about if you go to a certain local office in a certain country. I don't know what's happening here. Think about some people even willingly give the bribes to the officers. Why? To speed up, to fast track. In some countries, even officers don't ask anything. I remember in some places they are looking at the person on the table and thinking, okay, I would buy this thing, and then they are not even talking. When they are going to the office, one drawer is open. And you put the dress inside that, put the stuff inside that, they are closed. They are not even talking about it. It has become a normal practice. Because one very important thing is that the efficiency problem in every country. So that means we have to talk about efficiency. Because when people don't like to stay in the lineups queuing, if they have money, they would like to go for it. So that means when we talk about the policies, we have to focus on policies that could stop lining up. Think about it. When you go to a hospital, how many people are lining up? What is wrong with this system? Maybe medical system is overcrowded, right? And then when you go inside, so many places to go and then get the signatures and all that, right? So that means, I think if you ask the situation here, what people and universities, I think all those universities have a school of governance, policy making, they have to come up with a good plan to suggest the society, this could be the way that you can suggest to the government, maybe to the parties who are asking votes next time. If you follow this one, then only we are going to vote, right? I don't know whether what they are doing is onto that or not. These research places, policy making places should help people to come up with a better plan so they can check with the incoming elections, right? Okay, if you are only bringing up these kind of policies, we only vote for you, right? But it is not happening. What is happening is that when things go wrong, everybody come out of the houses and protest and then break and then destroy public property and go home, right? And then who is coming up in the next election? They will have to pay for all these things. Even people have to pay for it. So I think education is number one, especially with the right places. School of governance, policy making, public administration. We have to stop people giving bribes. That is number one. Why people give bribes? Because they are not able to get to the normal needs in their country, especially medical, housing, food, going to a small government place and to get it done. They have to go through lots of processes, right? So I think people's lives should be more comfortable, and then to come up with plans. That is one thing. Second is that what you call accountability, responsibility and accountability with regard to system. Normally in many countries I have seen that when someone is supervising accounting part, another layer is going to supervise the accounting part, not even the audit. Audit people are audited by another kind of body. No one is exempt from being supervised, right? Some time ago, in one country, the Prime Minister went to a certain place, and then normally it is said that the Prime Minister cannot accept a gift more than, I think, $25 or something, but he had accepted something more than $100. So in the Parliament, there is someone called Ethics Commissioner. Somebody complained to the Ethics Commissioner. Ethics Commissioner was asking that, and then I think he had to apologize and give it back. So that and also everything that is given to the Prime Minister, President of that country during his or her tenure must be public properties, government property, not his properties. So what does it mean? When we are monitoring, when a country is monitoring accounting people, auditing people, politicians, then there should be another body to monitor those people. Then only there will be transparency happening here. Now what is happening now is that you put everything for the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, please look at all these matters. See, corruption over there, corruption there. And then who will be monitoring the Prime Minister's activities? Finally. So this is the problem. We give, that means power has to be deputized, decentralized. Only when you leave lots of power to one person, lots of things can happen. So I think when we are engaging, making these activities, depending on our role, I think a country can at least come to a certain level, right? So until that time, we have to have a lot of Upekkhā, because otherwise we might come up with lots of happiness and lots of sadness, depending on the situation. So it's not only my effort. We have to engage in those activities.
So
I haven't seen that anywhere. This attitude that how to change with policies for the future. Everybody is talking about everything is corrupted. We have to get out of the houses. We have to protest. Do this. That is the only narrative, because they don't know what to do after that.
So can I say that Upekkhā is in a way that I should have a broader view to look at
Definitely,
the things.
Having a broader view about systematic violence, systematic failures in a country, in the society. A broader view, but not even to have the broader view. If possible, you also contribute to do something for that in a positive, moral way. Not that I am staying home and I am thinking, may the whole world become a corruptless place. Yes, that is the view. But at the same time, we do our own dialogue. What if someone is contacting Kalyana Mitra? Can you tell me the Buddhist attitude about anti-corruption? So we have to have that idea. And then we go to the Kutadanta Sutta, Digha Nikaya, Chakkavati Sihanada Sutta, where Buddha says, crimes don't happen because of the crimes. Crimes happen because of poverty. Buddha says, when people don't have enough money, they even kill people for just $100. Right? How to stop the contract killing? How to stop the hitmen? Why are they doing that? Things have come down to that level. What they are doing is totally wrong. But how to stop it? Right? So that's why it's very important to have our own Buddhist ideas about that transparent country. So I have Upekkhā when I have that attitude, the country attitude, and I should not respond to anything with anger, because I know what should be done.
So,
Yes.
Bhante, can I say that to apply Upekkhā in my daily life, is it like when I encounter different situations, I should have an open mind about how this thing...
And find a wise answer to that.
Oh, what? Okay.
This is the wise
then,
answer.
then I apply all the other Dharma teachings, non-self, impermanence, that kind of things.
Yeah, basically, Upekkhā, as I said, Upekkhā is not indifferent. Upekkhā, when you practice Upekkhā, you have to have an idea as to what should happen. Upekkhā is not apathy. You just stay quiet. I am not concerned about anything what's happening now. No, I know what to do, but I'm not responding. I'm not reacting with happiness, unhappiness. I have a better view about this thing, going beyond the binaries that people have in the society.
Thank you, Bhante.
We may have another 4-5 minutes and then we're done. Yes.
Okay, I will go next, Bhante.
Yes.
Thank you again for the talk this morning. My question, I guess, is on a more personal level. So earlier we were more systemic level, but this time in terms of developing Upekkhā and the way that it was explained, it seemed to be like a higher training of the mind. And does it mean that for example, just given the Brahma Viharas, it means that Metta, Karuna, and Mudita should have been developed already before Upekkhā could at least ripen. For example, Bhante, maybe a more daily life situation. I have a friend, we were discussing about how she holds a certain position in a school. And then she was telling me that it was very difficult to be equanimous. And so I asked, what do you mean by that? And then she said there's so many irritating people to deal with. So I guess that's where my question would be like, so in this case, a person would like to be equanimous dealing with people who are irritating her, who may be, frustrating her. But does it mean that you can't just jump to Upekkhā right away? Perhaps you deal with the irritation through metta first? Is it something like that? Or, okay, try to be equanimous, calm yourself. So in that sense.
I think external conditions should not bother us with regard to the attitude. All these are attitudes. I mean, not all of us are always with the people who can give us the Upekkhā. So we are dealing with the people who like us, whom we like us, and then at the same time there are people who are challenging us. I think what is important in that situation is to create the right attitude towards those two groups. I think none of us, not even her, none of us are living in a society where we are dealing with all the good people, right? So we have both, even more than the both. So what is important to her is that not to think about someone who is bothering me a lot. Yes, I will go to the framework, conceptual framework after. Now, Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekkhā, they are mutually inclusive. They are not mutually exclusive. That's why before get to Upekkhā kind of level, one has to have that basic friendly nature. Think about someone is coming and nagging and complaining to you. Then are you going to say, why are you complaining to me a lot? And you say, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying what's happening. But I'm angry if I'm not having metta. Right? There are people, there are different people. We cannot create a certain way to accept people. You should not complain to me. Some people, they don't know they are complaining. Right? But it's okay. That is their way to express. Right? Sometimes there are some elderly couples who are quarreling each other every day, morning to evening. Since the morning they are quarreling, something picking up, but then at the end of the day they are good. Then we understand that's the love language of them. But quarreling, it's not real quarreling. That's how they are interacting. Right? Think about animals. We see all the sounds of animals, but they are talking something in their own way. Right? So I think in that case, what she has to do, I think the school teacher, right?
Yeah.
Or someone. So what she or he has to do is that he has to understand that we are dealing with all sorts of people. So when we deal with all sorts of people, we need to have the basic metta to deal with them, and then also karuna to look at what they are displaying to us. I think when someone complains to me, I should not take it as a nagging complaining. I also think that I have to be compassionate to this person. This person is suffering in his life. That's why he or she is complaining like this. Right? Who is doing that? When someone is giving you a hard time, who is going to think that this person is really suffering? Actually, he is suffering. But unfortunately, some people take that suffering into their life too. Double suffering now. Nagging and you're suffering now. Right? Because they get frustrated very easily. Why you are nagging to me? I have seen that when some people are complaining, when others are patiently listening, they feel very happy. Right? Because they know they are complaining. So after I complain to you a lot, but you are like very calm and quiet. Right? So that means, there are ways to deal with them. So we need metta and karuna, and then mudita. Mudita means when we deal with people, different people, then we should expect, may you be able to be happy in your own way. So let's say if she's a school teacher, she does her job very well to that person. I don't know who is she's engaging with, and that's and then in the way we see, in the same way, Upekkhā is the total understanding of what's happening. Total understanding. Metta is a provisional understanding, one aspect. Karuna is another aspect. Mudita is another aspect. Upekkhā is a total understanding of the scenario that we are dealing with. So I think what she can do is that I need metta sometimes to deal with people, depending on the person. Karuna, Upekkhā, Mudita, and overall I have to deal with all these situations with some Upekkhā. So it can be, they are mutually inclusive, and they can be sequential, but finally it is only one thing. There's a oneness here. That oneness is Upekkhā. I think when you have Upekkhā, you have metta, karuna, mudita all inside. You can tolerate, you can process their complaints, you can wish their happiness. So that's how I think your friend can see that.
Thank you, Bhante. I have friends who are very dramatic. Anyone? Sorry, I'll pass to you.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question, Bhante. If you could speak a little more about I feel that if Upekkhā is applied wrongly, it can become like a sort of laziness,
Apathy or indifference.
feeling it's okay, I understand that I cannot do anything, but at some point there is a marker it's becoming lazy already.
No, I don't think so. That's why I said earlier about the corruption. You are staying neutral to understand what's going on, and then you have to come up with an action plan. Both must be done, right? Then everybody who cannot do anything, they all have Upekkhā naturally in this society. There are how many people are there? They are not doing anything to other people. They must have Upekkhā. I don't think they have Upekkhā. They are simply indifferent to respond. They don't know what to say, they don't know what to talk. So Upekkhā is that neutrality plus wisdom. That neutrality must be supported with wisdom. Yes, so that means you have to have your own wholesome solutions to the problems that you are going through. Now in the school situation, she has her own problem and she comes up with Upekkhā at the end. So she feels easy to handle with those people. I remember there was someone who was saying her son was very well, very respectful, and then after a few years he got changed because he got a big post in a company, but his job was his manager, case manager for complaints. Ever since he got this job, I think he is not doing it as a job. He takes all the complaints personally sometimes. I mean, when he comes back home, he's bringing complaints back home. It's a job. You must leave the complaints in the office. You must come back to your house with that happiness. And what happened? Rather than dealing with the complaint, he became the complaint at the end. Life was so struggling. That's why. So I think Upekkhā is not being indifferent. Upekkhā is, that's why it is a wrong way to take Upekkhā. Upekkhā is neutral, consciously, holistically neutral. Kusala-wise neutral with wisdom.
Thank you so much, Bhante.
All right. So, any question over here? Maybe a okay. And Angela, maybe the last question, a short question. Yes. And we will wrap this up after that. Yes.
Yeah, Bhante, maybe for Upekkhā, like it was mentioned a while ago, that you need lots of wisdom in order to have that attitude in life. So sometimes I think about like maybe it's like clinging to a lot of like perceptions that's stopping me from being equanimous. Like is it because like sometimes you know that life is anicca dukkha anatta on an intellectual level only, but there's like a level of acceptance that's missing. So how to get to that level of understanding that one can really stop oneself from, let's say, continuing, giving into anger, greed, or delusion. So how to stop oneself from that? Yeah.
Only when you stop that, there is a gap between the intellectual philosophical understanding of 3 marks of existence versus your personal life.
Mm-hmm.
Only when you stop doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I think anicca dukkha anatta are intellectual philosophical
Mm-hmm.
at that level, but they are practical day-to-day stuff, right? They are not things like highly yes, I mean even simple things can be philosophical.
Yeah.
Parents love, right, and children, society, happiness, they could be highly we can make it philosophize.
Yeah.
If we want, if we can create a lot of philosophies for that, but anicca dukkha anatta, they are really personal daily things. Now anicca is happening here, we are changing, we were not the individuals who sat down here around, I think 940ish, right? We have been changing. How do we know we have been changing? Our cells are born, stay, our cells are died, and then when only certain physical changes happen, we know that we are changing. And then dukkha, how do you interpret the changes? Will give you an idea, sense of idea about dukkha, right? And then at the end we understand that it is not important to create a clinging towards panchakkhanda body, rupa vedana sanya sankhara vijnana body. It is the body. Only when those 5 things are together we call it a body. So at a certain point we don't. I think they are philosophical, intellectual at a certain place, but they are happening. We have so many examples to see in our daily life. Now as you said, anger, you giving energy to anger. Now think about a very perfect moment to practice anatta. Let's say you are on the way to become angry, not now, I mean on the way to become. You know that you are going to be angry, you're going to burst into many at that point. On one side, you learn metta, right? But if you treat that, it's very philosophical, intellectual, you will never benefit from that at that point. That's number one. Number two, Buddhism asks us to think about what is happening to me. Satipatthanas, those Satipatthana suttas, mindfulness suttas are talking. When I stretch my hand, what has happened to my hand? I stretch now, I flex it, I look ahead, I look down, I look around. All these are mindful movements. So if you can think about those mindfulness moments, and also, why am I getting angry? I think that's a very good question you can ask. Every time you become angry, you can ask, why am I getting angry? What are the benefits for me to become angry? What can I get out of this? Right? I think ask those questions, but for most people, they are succumbing to their akusalas by that time. And then things have done, and when they do the follow-up, damage has been happened. I think as the follower of the Buddha, intellectual teachings are over there, but we should not make a gap between daily life and intellectual teachings. So ask questions from you. At least write what are the thoughts that come to you during that moment. Anger journaling. Write down. And you can see how evil can I go, and how peaceful can I go in a retreat. I think then you can do the follow-up. Right? So I think don't create the gap. Try to see Dhamma in daily life. Dhamma is not in a temple or in the books all the time. They are in our daily life.
Yeah, I think more of like, sometimes I know, like I can see like, oh, it's because I'm getting angry because I'm clinging to certain expectations. Oh, this should not be like this should be it. And it's like, oh, I'm attaching, I'm having,
Have you ever asked that why
thoughts,
why should I get angry?
Yeah, I know. It's like more of, oh, it's my ego, I'm being, conceited and all. So it's like, but it's like, oh, sometimes I still can't stop myself from like maybe doing damage with my like speech or something, or like retaliating or being defensive. So it's like more of that, like sometimes I can see it, but it's like it's hard to stop.
No, I don't think it's very easy for someone to become intellectual while going through hard akusala thoughts. That time is a very small time, short time, maybe a nanosecond. So I ask people, them to question, why should I become jealous? Why should I become angry? Ask that, because I know anger is bad. Akusala, right? I think then you will find the solution. Maybe I should find another way to respond to this situation, right? Because if you are going to think about, you are getting angry, then you are talk about how to practice metta. I even cannot remember those things, right? Okay? That might not be a good plan, right? Things don't come to you because you are angry. Because the thing is that more than how Dhamma is connected to our life, we are connected strongly to our loved ones. Then we want to we justify our states of minds. That's when Dhamma is running out at that point. That's why I am asking people to ask the question, why should I be angry? Not that I want to practice Dhamma, but how? Why should I become angry? And also the Buddha said the beautiful way to look at these negative mental states, that is anatta. Anatta means if someone did the wrong thing to me, they did the wrong thing not to me, they did the wrong thing to my previous self, that is changing. I have to take it as anicca in the first place. Second place, that self that was blamed before is not anymore existing because I believe Buddhism, and now I am a different self. So how to be angry? I mean, there is a reason to be angry if the same person is existing. That means you haven't understood anicca properly, right? In the deepest level, you think that same person is existing. Like a snake, right? Sometimes some cobras, when someone hit them, step on them, when they cannot find, they go to a certain place and they're going to attack that place. They think the person is existing in that stone, right? We shouldn't be that kind of mental. one of the very important things as Buddhists is to believe in anicca. Anicca is the most beautiful feeling in our life, which can help us lower lots of problems in our daily life. And we don't have to leave it on a sutta, on a book, only on a retreat. It's a normal thing. Okay, I think with that, how about Alan? Yes.
Earlier you mentioned impartiality.
Impartiality.
Yeah, can you like expound more on that? Does it mean not taking a stand or a position?
That means
Does it mean not taking a stand or a position?
taking
towards
a better stand, not the existing two sides, going beyond the binaries. Now, normally I refer impartiality to be going beyond the two sides which many people take. It is not victory over defeat, defeat over victory, right? So let's say someone defeated us. So how do I process it? I had to have mudita for them. In Pali stanza, Buddha says, Jayang Virang Pasavati Dukkhang Seti Parajito. Right? The Buddha said, when someone is victorious, the victorious person hates the one who was defeated. And when someone is defeated, the defeated hates the victorious. Upasanto Sukha, Buddha said, by transcending victory and defeat, one lives happily. I want people to go to that place, impartiality. Unless you are in a competition, you are a judge in a competition, you have to make a decision. I mean, right? You have to say, who is the best singer? Yes, you are the best singer. Otherwise, in life, you have to go beyond victory and defeat. Right? So you are full of choices, not choiceless. Yes. Okay, so with that, let us then wrap this up at this point, or we will.
We do a short break.
Yeah, but at the moment we will wrap this up with a short thing. May all the good karmas we be making today by learning about Upekkhā in many contexts and how to practice Upekkhā in our daily life be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana Siddhissa Niccang Vaddhāpachāyino Chattaru Dhamma Vaddhanti Ayuvannu Sukhang Balang Ayurarogya Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sampatti Iminati Samicchatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Alright, now we will it is 11:28:30, so we will take a